Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the British and Irish Eagles podcast, brought to you by Pashank Avenue, Loch Lomond Whiskies, and part of the Philly Sports International Collective. I am glad to be back. It's a little bit rusty. It's been about a month since our broadcast, but given the recent news, which we'll get onto in a minute, I thought it would be important, a good reason to bring us all back on the podcast. And I'm back, safe to say, with another new face, an old face, but collectively all part of the British and Irish Eagles empire, and eager to get into the juicy bit of trade that's going tonight. I've got with me Mik the Beard, all the way from Scotland, safely put the kids down to sleep and safely with us, and Mik the Welsh Dragon. Well, you could argue that he looks like he's from Australia, really, with that mullet. But
I'll take
gentlemen,
it.
Mike, thanks for joining. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me. Mike, I'll come to you first. How you doing, man? Thanks for jumping on. How you doing?
No problem. All good, man. All good. Little bit getting fed up of the off season. I'm sort of itching for it now. It seems like forever ago that the Super Bowl was played, and obviously we had the draft to sort of tick us over. But I reliably learned that it's 14 weeks until season opener.
Is that all?
14 weeks and counting.
It feels like we've had about twice that already since the end of the season. Yeah, Mike, thanks for joining us. Second appearance or third appearance now? I can't remember. But...
yeah, definitely third at least. Might be four.
Oh, God, we can't get enough of you. Mike, for those that listen to the podcast and came to the Welsh watch along last year, is the guy in charge. The one who gave us was the grand tour of Cardiff. Into the retro gaming shop that we went to after a quick detour from the classic meetup place of Spoons before heading to Eleven's Bar, which is Gareth Bale's bar, I remember. Actually, a really nice bar that we ended up going to. Really, really accommodating, and we're going back there again, aren't we, Mike?
We are indeed. October the 11th. Actually, might not be October the 11th, but it's week 11 against the Steelers. We're all
week 11.
Week 11, whatever that date is, sometime in October, booked back in to Gareth Bale's gaff.
There's something else happening on October 11th, I hear. And
yeah, there might be something else that's happening. We'll get into that as well a little bit later. But yeah, going back to Eleven's Bar in Cardiff, which wasn't a happy hunting ground for the game last time, the horrible loss to the Cowboys. But hopefully this year against the Steelers, I believe you said it was. And well, I'll be coming up there again because it's just a short hop for me. And I'll be looking forward to sleeping on your sofa once again, Mike. So thank you for that.
Feel free, mate. Open invite for anyone who wants to come.
Nice.
It's dangerous. That's a dangerous.
As I say, yeah. Well, last time when I didn't take the day off work the next day stupidly for a half-night game, and then I was on the road about 6 o'clock in the morning going over the Severn Bridge, back in work by 8 in the morning. Luckily, I think I stopped drinking very early, but what a stupid idea that was. Definitely won't be doing that this time. I'll be taking the day off to make sure I can comfortably have a few beverages with Mike this time. Yeah, like I said, Mik is also joining us. Safely put the kids down, like I said. Was with me for the draft review podcast, giving his how he scores for the draft prospects. Mik, kids are down, ready to podcast. How are you feeling about the off season so far?
I'm feeling good. Although my confidence was hit a little bit, Phil, when you said you had an old face on the podcast. I think that was directed at me. And, I'm turning 40 this year, but give me a break.
And you're 57 kids. That'll do it as well.
57 and counting, yeah. Yeah, the off-season's the off-season. It's not really an off-season for us guys at the British and Irish Eagles. PSI, we're always running things in the background, running competitions, herding the cats in the WhatsApp group. And, we've got the World Cup to enjoy over the summer as well, so that'll distract us a little bit from sort of Eagles football, which we're all looking forward to, of course. So there's plenty going on. I've been moving house, of course, as well. I know you are too, Phil. So that's occupying most of my time. And getting the membership packs out, God, that's huge part of my time as well. So my sticky stuff is making its way around the United Kingdom. The posties are out in force, with a teal envelopes, waiting to deliver the membership card so you can get your lovely discounts at Passion Avenue. Phil showing his off is, and you'll get your draft card, of course, your personalised draft card that I'm writing out individually, each one of them. Excuse the handwriting; it's probably terrible by the 50th or 60th or 70th one that I've done so far. So be patient. I will say, if you're listening and you haven't received your membership card yet, just bear with me whilst I get them all out, because it's all done by hand by me with love.
Yeah, what an effort it is that Mik's putting into these these cards this year. It's getting bigger and better. We're getting keyring chains, nice new cards, like you said, a personalised draft card, nice little touch for those that have been with us a while. Obviously, everyone's got their own backstory or meme within the group now, and that usually plays a part in what Mik writes down for your your position within the team of British and Irish Eagles and PSI members. But yeah, no, those by all means do get in touch with us if you haven't had yours yet and you've signed up and paid for the new year. They will be coming out as soon as possible. Okay, that's all the intros and everything done. So, I mean, we've been through what feels like an eternity of AJ Brown drama, not just the off season, but probably for the last 2 seasons since the Super Bowl win. I think arguably there's been something or another going around, and especially in that Super Bowl winning season, that's where all the trouble apparently started. Now all the news that's coming out in the media at the moment, but AJ Brown yesterday finally became a New England Patriot. Something that we all knew was probably going to happen. I think some of us might have held on to some remote hope that maybe he'd go somewhere else, that we'd get a better haul for him. We'll get into all that in a sec. But finally, that kind of drama for the Eagles, at least for now, he's passed his physical. Looks like it's been put to bed. So we'll get to that in just a moment, along with the updated temperature check, because I'm pretty sure this might shift the needle for a few of us as well. But first off, guys, the comp itself, we'll go through that and just give our opinions exactly on the trade, in black and white on bit of paper as you see it. So my personal feelings was that 2028 first, when it was being reported shortly beforehand, wasn't keen. You want a 2027. Apparently the draft class is stacked, or so we hear every year, but I think this coming season particularly, there's a lot of excitement, and it's probably the main reason why the Patriots were very keen not to give away next season's first. So we've got a 2028 first round pick and a 2027 fifth round pick, and that's probably where I kind of really get a bit concerned. Like, fifth round pick, I think for me, once you get out in a trade of a player of AJ Brown's magnitude, once you get to sort of like a fourth round pick and beyond, you're kind of just looking at, well, that's the sort of area where you start just taking punts more on players. They're less high caliber players and more players that you just think can fit a particular scheme or anything like that. So for me, not a great trade return. I think we've settled onto it. Obviously, the opinions have come out, and maybe some have reassured you, some have not. But for me, would have preferred a 2027 first. But what has been intelligently put out by the Ringer, Shield Kapadia, Philly Special, was that if it was any other team, I think without Howie Roseman, you tend to look at 2028 picks or 2-year picks 2 years away and kind of go, we don't know who's making that pick. We don't trust our manager to make a pick this season. But with Howie, it feels like there's a plan 3, 4, 5 years ahead, and that's definitely going to be factored into it. And if he's not going to get a 2027 first, then getting a first is absolutely imperative. I'll come to you, Mike, first. Just the trade comp itself. How does it sit with you? And are you happy with it? Are you okay with it? Do you think we should have got more?
I don't think I view it maybe quite as negatively as maybe you started to sound there. You sort of brought it back a little bit, but I don't know. I tend to look at it more almost like a leasing, like we've been renting him. Do you know what I mean? When we gave up a first and a third to Tennessee, he was in the prime of his life, to be perfectly honest. So we sort of fleeced the Titans there. And we've had 4 years of elite production, even though it's, sort of been waning in recent years. We made 2 Super Bowls. We won them. And then we shipped him out back to Vrabel after we finished our renting of him for a first and a fifth, when there was no other real interest in the market apart from the Patriots. So to get anything back when there's no one really fighting for him, it doesn't bother me too much. I think, with all the drama, etc., that comes with him, you can't look to be getting, maybe what we paid first time in terms of our draft picks for sure. And then I just feel like because his sort of production has been declining, he hasn't been fulfilling the full season. Do you know what I mean? Like, he missed 2 games last season. He missed 4 games the year before that. You know what I mean? His physical health is a thing as well. And although he's still producing, I think I would much rather ship him out before it gets bad than afterwards, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think the only question I think the main factor for the 2028 first, I think, just comes from when you're giving up a player, when you're losing the caliber of player that you're losing in AJ Brown, regardless of your opinion on his decline or not, you're not going to see that blue chip direct replacement. And again, that feeds into the Howie Roseman that, when we look back, we always kind of go, bloody hell, he got all that out of that one particular trade. But I feel like it's 2 years, and it's like 2 years before we're going to be able to feel that benefit. But then you kind of look back to the Mackay Lemon trade up in the draft and kind of go, wow, they all knew it was happening, and they did absolutely the right thing. Mick, sorry, I'm going to do that all night. Mick, your thoughts on the trade compensation? How do you feel about it?
Honestly, I feel better since hearing what you and Mike have had to say about it on the podcast. Because I've always sort of been, I was sort of where you were, Phil, and I wanted to see what the comp would be, and I wouldn't have been happy with the 2028 first. I think we spoke about it on a podcast a few months ago. I think we spoke about it, and if we'd be happy with 2020, and we thought, no, that's probably a disaster. Because you want it in, next year's draft, you want to replace, talent with talent. But having said that, we've already sort of made our moves to replace AJ. We don't need this draft pick as a direct AJ replacement, because Howie's been working all off season to replace AJ, and it's big shoes to fill. As you know, his production has just been unbelievable for us over the last 4 years or however long he's been in Philadelphia. As our number one wide receiver, he's the guy who Jalen relies on most. If you see a go ball up in the air, 9 times out of 10 it's going to AJ, and 9 times out of 10 he's grabbing it out there. He's got that physicality, and that's what we will miss. But how he's trying to build AJ as a sort of a Frankenstein AJ that he's building by collecting all these different wide receivers with different attributes. So they're getting a guy that's big bodied, who has a large catch radius, who can play on the outside. But there's all different aspects of AJ's game, but they're bringing it in with maybe 2 or 3 guys rather than just the one superstar. Who superstars are hard to come by in the NFL, as everyone knows. We've been blessed having a 1A and a 1B in this team for so many years. I'm sort of going everywhere with this a little bit, but what I'm trying to say is that the comp is probably fair now, that from what Mike had said, that he's aging, maybe declining. It depends on that physicality, because we know he's a physical wide receiver, but like Mike said, he's missed games over the last couple of seasons. We don't know what's really going on with his knee. It's probably only going to get worse as he ages. And if he's a player that depends on being physical, being a bully, being bigger than the other guy, and being stronger, faster, then the production is going to wane. And he's right. Like, you want to sell a year early than sell a year late, because you're not going to get the return. Like, if we hold on to AJ for this entire season, say we didn't make the trade with the Pats, and we trade him next off season, which you're then looking at the 2028 NFL draft, you're not getting a first. There's no way you're getting a first in the 2028 draft. You're unlikely to even get a second at that point. So the capital is compensating for not having AJ on the team in 2027, but 2026. But I think Howie's done very well to mitigate that as well. So I think the trade has worked for us. I don't know if I'm trying to convince myself just now, but that's where I sort of am. It's also, I know it's been going on for months, but it still feels a bit raw, like, because we didn't know, what was going on in the background, and that he put in a trade request after 4 weeks and all that sort of stuff that's came out since, and all the drama and all and what the compensation is. So it's all just sort of fog in my head just now at the moment, and I'm just trying to make sense of it. But I'm trying to paint a nice picture for the Eagles' future going forward.
Yeah, I think that like you said, we've all said, the dust has settled, and I think the realism maybe sets in a bit. The rose tinted glasses that we look at it, we go, we want this, and it's like sometimes the reality doesn't always line up with that. But I think like I said, like we've touched on, it's the length, the size of the gap between the deficit and the replacement. Now, Eli Stowers as well is a factor in that, and Mackay Lemon coming in. Both, Eli Stowers being a big-bodied receiver type guy, Mackay Lemon being a great contested catch, and getting that yak. They are, like you said, looking for that Frankenstein replacement potentially, Mick. So you never know. We might. Might get lucky with Howie. Anything's possible that we go into the season and it ends up being a little bit of AJ Brown who, because these guys come in and we pick the right guys, and it comes in, and then we're just sort of sat with big Cheshire Cat grins on our faces for the next 2 years, waiting for the Pats to decline and getting that top 10 pick in 2028. You never know. It's all within the realms of the possibility. So I guess we just got to stay positive for now and hope that the impact of the loss for now isn't too great. But
that's a good point. That's a good point. See, the hate watch. The hate watch is so good. I love a good.
I really enjoyed the hate watch with the Colts and Wentz. That was really good. Watching the Twitter counter go up every week. It did make it enjoyable. People talk about playing fantasy football makes you more interested in other teams, but I just say Howie's trade negotiations make you more interested in other teams' fortunes. So it's all good. But just a quickly comparison. I think a lot of people draw the comparison to Waddle because he went early in the off season, and the trade capital for that one was a first and a third. And I say arguably, probably not even arguably, AJ Brown is a better wide receiver than Jalen Waddle is, and has had a better history and hasn't been more successful all year round. So I think that's obviously where the expectations came from, But I think again, the Philly special, listen to them, Shil Kapadia and Zach Berman making really good, solid, mature points, rational points. Saying that pick was pick 30. The first and the third was pick 94. So when you break it down to that, they got the 30th. They got the back end of the first round draft. So you're not really getting that the same capital that you when the trade for AJ Brown would be, or potentially if the Pats do decline, where the Eagles could be picking in 2028. And because the Eagles, obviously, we couldn't trade him before the 1st of June, so there was no chance of getting 2026 first, and that would have been pick 31. So we would have got pick 31 and pick 96 or whatever it would have ended up being. So you can, when you kind of flip it that way, you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I think you just get that first round pick, neon lights going, we got another first round pick. But when you look at the actual number of it is, and the draft talent that was available, we'll see what the Broncos look like, but they might, or the beg your pardon, the Dolphins look like, but they're getting touted for being the number one pick next year. So what's it good to them? What those picks did for them? Who knows? We'll see. AJ's arguably the most skilled and successful Eagles skill player that we've had as Eagles fans. On and off, we have debates about who our favorite Eagles players are, but on paper, most successful. hands down in terms of the stats and the trophies and the rings and everything that and the Pro Bowls. How great do you think that the gap will be with AJ Brown going? Like, do you think like me, or are you optimistic like me, going, well, I'm just going to put my faith in the draft and the rookies that are coming in, that the gap won't be felt that much? Or do you think it really will be sort of like a sluggish start to the season as the Eagles try to find their identity with a whole new plethora of wide receivers, new offensive coordinator? How, like Mike, I'll come to you again first. What's your gut feeling on the actual size of the impact on the Eagles coming into the season?
I look at it in two ways. I'm eternally optimistic, so I'm not going to deny the fact that AJ was an absolute weapon for us. Brilliant, massive loss, because you know how reliable he is, and if you need him to go up and get the ball, like Mick said, he's going to do it. But that also comes with some of the drama and some of the like the demands for the ball, which I felt made us a bit predictable at times. I felt because a lot of the defenses knew that he wanted the ball so much, and it was forcing Jalen to try and get him the ball, so it was easy to defend. What you see now is a whole plethora of really talented receivers. You're talking about, Lemon, who's come out in the first round now. He's won the Bilintikov Award. Just like Smitty did, he's a great receiver. You've got Dontavian Wicks, who is super reliable and has been for the Packers. Couple of drops here and there. You got Hollywood Brown, who's like a former first round pick, absolute lightning, and you've got Eli Stowers and Dallas Goedert in there as well. And I think what it does, having all these different pairs of hands that do slightly different things, is it makes us more unpredictable. I think that makes us more difficult to defend if you zoom out and look at the big picture. And I think having all these other options can be nothing but a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's the hope. I think given the situation, if the rationalization of the loss, I think that's what everyone's clinging to, because it's the most positive ideal. It relies on a huge amount of cohesion, chemistry right away. And yeah, we've only lost AJ Brown, but how everyone new and old clicks together in that new offense is asking a lot. I think it has to be said to caveat that, say that there's a lot of things that need to go right for the Eagles to be competitive out of the bat. We got an early, well, I haven't got an early bye. We thought we were going to have an early bye, but it's like week 9 and week 10 now, isn't it? So we've got 9-10 weeks before we can get back to the drawing board and figure right and wrong. So the Eagles, there's a lot of expectation. There's a lot of things that need to go right. Mick, how do you feel about, how do you measure up, and how do you think the Eagles are going to sort of cope with the big gap this season?
Yeah. I mean, first off, I've got to say, you need to get Mike on the podcast more often, man, because he's making some great points tonight. I'm sitting like, yes, what else, Mike? What else is good? With the Eagles, no, because you absolutely nailed that. I thought you absolutely nailed that. Because you're right, the Eagles were too predictable last year, forcing the ball to AJ, and removes that scenario. But the biggest question for this offseason for this team is the scheme, the coordinator, the play calling. So it's all really going to come down to Sean Mannion and what he is able to install in this Eagles offense, because last year was dog shit, and we all know it. We all watched it. We all lived through it. It was just awful, awful, awful. And I can't sit through another season like that. I mean, even if we're trying new things is a positive to me. Like, anything's a positive than from what we watched last year. It was just so dull, bland, boring. Like, you watched all these pundits on Twitter and all the talking heads of the NFL media, and the guys that watched the film, and they could tell you the play before the ball snapped what was going to happen. And if these guys can tell you, the defensive coordinators in the opposing team definitely know as well. So the biggest thing for me isn't really AJ, it's the offensive scheme as a whole. Is losing AJ like a massive part of that? Absolutely. I mean, he was our number one wide receiver. He put up 1,500 yards a season every year for us. It's going to be a huge loss. I mean, yeah, brought in as many guys as we can to try and mitigate the loss for AJ, the Frankenstein theory that I was talking about earlier. And whilst that sounds good on paper, we don't know how it will actually materialise. Lemon hasn't played a snap in the NFL. It's a lot of pressure to put on a guy like that. But what I think is that a certain number 6 will rise above. And that's what I'm looking forward to most. Like AJ, yeah, sorry, you're gone. Bye-bye, AJ, bye-bye, Bay City Rollers. But it's time. It's Smitty time, man. Like, I know we came on this podcast to talk about AJ Brown and the loss of him and stuff like that, but I'm actually more interested and more excited about what's going to happen next year with the guys in the building, the guys that want to play, the model professional that is Devontae Smith, the guy who's just, I think he's just going to take his game at a whole new level, and that gives me goosebumps thinking about how good it could possibly be with a guy holding the play sheet that knows what the fuck he's doing, number one, and guys like Devontae Smith that can absolutely ball out.
A lot of the feedback so far from OTAs has been good as well, like in terms of like seeing Mannion's scheme and stuff like that a lot more under centre, whether that is Jalen or it is Saquon as well, and everyone, like the internal confidence within the building on Smitty sort of just taking that step up. Everyone just knows that he can do it, and everyone is just excited to watch.
Everyone does seem focused, and I think you're right, guys. Like, Smitty's probably been waiting for this moment maybe for a year. He's the writing's kind of been on the wall, and he's like just he's waiting for his moment. He's had a little bit of it before AJ came along, but he was a rookie. But he showed flashes then being the lead guy. I think he's going to excel definitely. Scrolling through my jersey wardrobe, and the AJ Brown jerseys are now gone to the back, and it's like, thank God, I, like you, Mick, got the Fuse Kelly Green Smith one, because that is now pride in place, and it's actually my Super Bowl lucky jersey. So that was the one I wore during the Super Bowl season. So I'm looking forward to getting that one out again and wearing that one with pride for sure.
I've also got that jersey. I picked that up from the pro shop when we were over there, so that's going to be a staple for me as well.
What, 666, the number of the beast, when the Eagles come to London and we're all stood next to each other. Well, that's thanking God and mentioning the devil in one sentence. I didn't think I was going to do tonight. Let's quickly touch on the drama that's come out today. Specifically, we're not going to go into too much detail because, again, we don't know how confirmed it is. But I think the level of weight and traction it's got always suggests that there's truth to the rumor. Things like this don't usually sustain themselves unless there's some element of truth. But the rough rumors are essentially around Hassan Reddick's trade being quite abrupt, and him and AJ Brown having interest in the same massage therapist, if I'm right. I don't know if that's another rumor that's got mixed in, but and essentially AJ Brown going to Jalen Hurts going, "Are you going to do something about this, Cap?" And Jalen Hurts going, "I'm too busy trying to win trophies," which I think is an absolute ball of line from Jalen Hurts, if true. But you kind of believe that. He's literally going like, "Why am I dealing with this shit? I'm trying to win a Super Bowl." What are you, Mick? I'll come to you first for a change. Those are the rough rumours. Add anything else you may or may not have heard. But what are your opinions, and do you care? Are you bothered by it? Does it affect anything at all? Or is it just like, well, it's going to come out? It's the team. Because at the end of the day, it's just good PR. It's what you do. You try to distance yourself because it's a big move for Howie. Howie wants to look good in all this. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's an element of the Eagles behind it somewhere. Now that the trade's gone through, it's like a floodgates have opened. Mick, what are your overall thoughts on the whole drama that's come out since?
It's a little bit like trying to cope with the loss, like when you like a girlfriend breaks up with you and you're just like, well, she had smelly feet anyway or something, or never really liked her. It feels a little bit like that, where we're just trying to find excuses to not want him anymore, because he's gone and because he wanted out and because he didn't want to be with us. So it's like that whole separation thing and getting dumped. It sort of feels like getting dumped. And I think we're maybe as Eagles fans just a little bit insecure, and we're just maybe looking for some ways to just like justify him leaving and not caring about it anymore. I mean, maybe the rumors are true, maybe they're not, but for me, it's all sort of high school drama, locker room sort of stuff. Phil, I'm too old for shit like that. I don't care. It doesn't really get me going. It doesn't really interest me. I'm more interested of the production on the field, and maybe one leads into the other because the locker room there was no harmony there, and that's why maybe AJ was giving up on some of his route running because he just couldn't be fucked playing with Jalen anymore if they were having a bit of a rift. Which then does spark your attention and does make you start thinking about it. But yeah, I'm sort of just at the point where I'm just like, let the guy go. Let's just move on. The rumors, nah, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my thing.
Yeah, Mike, anything to add on the drama at all from your side?
Well, I sort of feel the same as Mick in terms of the cause or wherever the drama comes from, like arguing over a massage therapist or whether or not Jalen knew about it and AJ feels betrayed, this, that, and the other. That is absolute bollocks to me. I couldn't give a toss. But it's how that manifests itself then, like Mick was saying, in the locker room, on the field, this, that, and the other. The stuff that I saw today was talking about AJ Brown was requesting a trade last season after week 4. Like at week 4, you just won a Super Bowl and you were 4-0. You got perfect record. So there's clearly something is happening in that locker room for you to want to request a trade when you've just won the biggest accolade in your sport and you're perfect this season. Obviously, that was that was denied. He didn't get traded. But then if you look at his numbers in week 5 against Denver, which was our first loss of the season, the numbers were not good. He had something like 5 catches for 40 yards, and there was also like a Hail Mary pass to Smithy in the end zone to win the game. And AJ Brown got all up in his face and basically caused him to drop it. And my head then starts to ask myself, is he just sabotaging our games to try and force a move?
Yeah,
that's
it. I know. It sounds ridiculous.
You can go down so many rabbit holes with it all. You can read deeply into it. You can just skim over the top. But ultimately, there's something there. Something happened. I don't think you can say that it's complete and tosh. There's whether the exact scenario is true or not. I mean, I know me and Liam were over at the Novacare that season, and we heard things that suggested things weren't great between Hurts, between AJ, between a couple of players. And I remember sitting there thinking at the time, going, man, like, just want a good, successful team. We finally got it. I just want things to go smoothly. And obviously that's about, so there's some truth to it all. We just don't know what. And it doesn't, like you're right, Nick, ultimately it just doesn't really matter. He's gone now. If that means that the team goes into the season and it's like a brand new team and, the things that we're hoping for all come to fruition because we haven't got this black hole within the team just sucking everything, all the joy out of the team, all the positive vibes out because he's not getting his own way, then fine. We'll forget about it after a couple of weeks of the Eagles blowing out a couple of teams. So it's probably not worth dwelling on any more than that. So we're going to finish the AJ Brown segment just with a couple of hopefully light-hearted things, nothing too deep, but I want to get your favorite AJ Brown. So let's try and turn it on a bit positive. Like out of the 4 years that AJ Brown was an Eagle, Mike, can you pinpoint your favorite AJ Brown moment? It can be a game, it can be a time,
Yeah, mine's a toss-up. I got 2. It's from his first season with us. 2022 is his debut for us against the Lions was outrageous. He caught 10 passes for 155 yards in his first game for us. And it was just a really, really just exceptional way to announce that he was here. I thought he was unbelievable that game. And then also say that season when we played the Steelers as well, it was
That's my one, Steelers.
Yeah, I thought it would be. I thought it would be popular. He caught 6 catches, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns by half time. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, some of the stats he puts up, like, because he's super dominant when he's on his day and he really wants to play. He really, really can.
Yeah, Mick. Oh, mine's the Steelers. So I'm gonna. He's already covered.
Is that the one where he like mossed the guys and then he's pointing at Minka and
yeah.
That was an epic moment, wasn't it? With AJ. Jeez, oh man.
I remember that was the one week that DAZN went down for me, and I didn't actually watch the game in a conventional way. But I just remember it still for being such an amazing game, watching those highlights back. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the guy balled out like week in, week out. It's just so hard to like pinpoint a game or a moment or like define his career at the Eagles with just a game or with just one moment. Just I know it's a sort of cop out thing to say, but like he was so good, he was so dominant, man. That, like we didn't have a wide receiver like that. Like from my time supporting the Eagles, at least anyway. I mean, I haven't been supporting the Eagles as long as a lot of people that listen to this podcast probably you as well, Mike. You've probably been a Birds fan longer than I have, but
2005. This is the jersey. Super Bowl 2005.
Is that when you started? Is that your origin story? That's great. No, I was probably about 10 years later. So, so you've got more experience in this sort of thing. But like, from drafting Jalen Reagor, who had just gone, by the way, to Miami, which is hilarious, and the disappointment that he was, and with the Justin Jefferson thing and all that, and just being like bereft of any talent at wide receiver at all, and then swole Batman comes in, and just dominates every week. Him and Jalen, perfect partnership, and it's just fun Eagles football, and that's what I'll miss the most. Is just how fun it was to watch that guy just moss defenders constantly.
So you're copping out and just going for the whole time.
Yeah.
It was an Eagle. That's fair enough. I mean, like it was supposed to. It's only a light-hearted piece, and to be fair, don't cry that it's over. Just be happy that it happened. I think is the tagline for AJ Brown's time as an Eagle. Do we think he's going to be successful in New England? Because that's the question. We've discussed injury concerns. Obviously, he's passed his medical. We've discussed his behavior issues. He's going to a team with a rookie quarterback who everyone seems to love, but arguably hasn't performed as well as the hype, into a fairly new team, and he is going to be the number one guy, but he ain't going to have it as good as he had in Philly. I don't mind who jumps in first here, but whoever's got going on. But do you think he's going to be successful?
I think it's going to be more of the same, to be honest. I think he's going to have his moments. I think he'll dominate at times. And then I think there'll be some drama or an injury. And I think the Patriots in general will regress. So if we do keep that 28 first rounder and we don't use it as some sort of bargaining chip for 27 draft moves or pick changes or whatever, I think that 28 first rounder will be at worst somewhere middle of the pack. I don't think we'll be late round. I think they're going to regress over the next couple of years.
Mick?
Yeah, I mean, New England look like they're building something, but at the same time, I thought their Super Bowl run last year was kind of fluky.
Cupcake.
Like have you actually went back and looked at the schedule? It was fucking ridiculous.
I remember during the season, it was like, people were just like skirting around the issue and praising them because they didn't want to face the truth that it was one of the easiest Super Bowl schedules ever.
Yeah, they played practically no one, honestly, and so it'll be interesting to see what they do this year with maybe a more. Well, I've not actually looked at the Patriots schedule. I've got to be honest. I don't really care about New England. I don't really watch other teams that often. I watch every Birds game, every moment of every Birds game, but the rest of the league doesn't really get me excited. So, yeah, I think he'll have
Don't
a good
care.
first
That's
season.
fine. You can say I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Well, I don't fucking care, mate.
Fair enough. That's a perfectly acceptable answer. For me, I think there's a chance it's going to all go to pot. I feel like, you guys have kind of reaffirmed that for me. Like I said, he may, if he regresses or an injury related issues and he doesn't play the whole season, he doesn't click with Drake May, all these things that we're looking at our own team now he's gone. Same kind of applies. Is he going to come in? The expectation, he is a great player, but he's not a miracle. He's not going to make that team a Super Bowl winner from a Super Bowl contender overnight. It's going to take time, and I'm sure AJ will do his best to be there. But I think there's a good chance this could all really come up Wentz part 2 and just work out really well for the Eagles and just be another masterful trade. I do wish him success. I don't dislike the guy, and like I said, I love the fact that he's here. But given everything that's happened the last year, I think it would be nice to sort of feel a little bit of justice for the Eagles to know that we made absolutely the right decision to get rid of him now, and it doesn't matter about the cap hit. So that's where I stand anyway. Right, that's 35 minutes speaking about AJ Brown that we will never touch on again. Well, hopefully not have to touch on him again. Let's get on to the second part of the podcast, which is the amazing news, which I think is why I wanted it to go second, because I really wanted to lift everyone up after this segment, which is the Eagles are coming to London, guys. I'm so excited by this because I was getting so nervous going into May, knowing the schedule release was 2 weeks away and the rumors coming out, rumors that we heard, we were hearing that it was pretty much like 90% there, and it was just waiting for confirmation. And 3:00 in the morning on schedule release day, or the day before, I think it was, the leaks started coming out. Me and Mike were up, I think, booking hotels. I booked 5 days in London because I was like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I just want to make sure I'm there. We all knew, we had a strong feeling it was happening. We just had to wait to that moment. But the Eagles are coming back for the first time since 2018. Actually, the season I became an Eagles fan, I was in America the week before. I was watching them against the Vikings. And then on board ship somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, managed to catch the London game on Sky Sports. So that was when I started becoming an Eagles fan. I saw how amazing Wembley was. I hear stories from people. And it's just, now I get to be part of it. But not only do I get to go, I get to be part of it with the British and Irish Eagles. I get to be part of it with the PSI, Passyunk Avenue, Loch Lomond, everyone. It's just going to be a massive coming together. Like, we have our watch events, sure, and it's so great to spend time with a couple dozen here or there Eagles fans coming down to London to watch a game on the TV. But this is just going to be in stratosphere. It was great in the Super Bowl where there's about 4,000 people in Waterloo Tunnel. Again, this is going to send this into outer space, going into Passyunk for almost a week-long party, culminating in everyone heading down and making Tottenham Hotspur Stadium green on October 11th for the Week 5 clash against Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't care about the opponents, frankly. I didn't give a shit who they were going to play. The fact they're coming over is all that matters to me. And all of us are going to be there. So when I say all of us, I mean me, Mick, Liam, and Tony. Obviously, Mike's going to be there as well. But the 4 members, main members of the British and Irish Eagles are going to be together for the first time watching Eagles. This is your first time watching the Eagles in the flesh, am I right?
Yeah.
So this is like super special. I think I'm just as excited to watch an Eagles, but with Mick, who arguably knows more ball than most of us, knows the Eagles more than most of us, is more passionate than most of us, and yet I've been over to see the Eagles 4 times, and I feel bad every time that Mick hasn't been able to join us, and I'm just so excited that Mick is going to be coming down on a plane down to London to Passyunk Avenue as well, because he's not even able to take advantage of the Passyunk Avenue atmosphere. So it's going to be absolutely huge. Mick, I'm going to get your thoughts first. I'll pretty much set it up for you, but how excited are you for October 11th, and what's the first thing you're going to do when you get down to London?
I'm going to give you a big cuddle, mate, because I love you so much. I miss you. No, what an intro,
I
Phil.
love
What
a
an
Mick
intro.
puddle.
I think you're more excited than I am at this point. You know. I think it's going to be marvelous. Like to see you guys, to see all the members, everything that we've been building for the last, how long have we been doing this now? 5 or 6 years, I think now, Phil.
Almost 6 years,
yeah. And as you say, I know like we have our watch alongs and day-to-day stuff, but this is different. This is definitely different. It feels different. Honestly, cannot wait to leave my little. I feel like I live on a little remote island or something like that I can never escape. Like fucking Castaway or something. And I'm getting off, finally getting off the island. The beard's gone. I'm re-entering civilization, which would be London, which would be the birds in London, and meeting all you guys, some familiar names that I can start putting faces to from the WhatsApp group, the people that I speak to, converse with, laugh with every day, like literally every single day. I'm on the group chat. I'm reading everyone's comments, smiling, laughing, joking, and to then meet everyone. It'll be honestly dream come true. To come down there and hopefully celebrate a win with you guys. Watch my first NFL game live. I've never been in an NFL game. It's just consequence of my situation, the kids and stuff like that, and getting abroad is pretty hard for me and hard for my family. So this will be huge for me personally, but like as a collective, as our group, for everything that we've been building over the last few years, I honestly, I cannot even put it into words like how much I'm looking forward to the event and to the weekend. That will be one of the best weekends of my life, I think, definitely. And I think I'll bring a nice bottle of whiskey with me as well. We celebrate.
Right. Unfortunately, I didn't catch any of that because my AirPods decided to drop out. So I'm sure it was a really lovely story, but I'm gonna have to catch it on the podcast later. If it's not my laptop, it's my bloody AirPods. It just suddenly went. I was like, I can't hear a thing, so I was just scrambling trying to reconnect them. And just as I did,
I thought you were. I thought I just stunned you into silence. I thought I just stunned you into silence with my rousing speech.
Well, I heard it all, and I thought it was lovely.
Thank you. I only called you it once.
I'll make sure to listen back to the podcast later and catch up. But Mike, you can't really top Mick's story. I'm sure it was amazing, but from your perspective, obviously, I think you're also still planning to go on the Birds Fly Home.
Yeah, that
you
is
were on the last one that we went to as well. So this one's going to take on a bit of a different meaning.
Yeah, it's the plan. I've never been able to see the Eagles in London. I wasn't able to go last time. I couldn't get out of work, which was an absolute nightmare for me, and I was miserable for the entire week. But I am absolutely buzzing that they're coming down to London and the fact that we're going to get to go. My wife is a massive sports fan, and I've been trying to get her into NFL for the last 5 years, and she couldn't give a toss. So dragging her along now so she can experience the best of what we offer. So now, hopefully, once she's experienced the stadium, Pasiunk, all the the wonderful people that are part of PSI, there's loads of us all sat in the same block. We're lucky enough to have been able to score some tickets off Ali, and I know there are multiple people that booked multiple tickets to help the group out. It's been absolutely great. So we've got a lovely corner in block 251 where all the cool kids are sat together, and then Rich Skinner's going to sit with us as well.
I know, I was waiting for that little thing to come in there. Yeah, it was amazing. On the Amex pre-sale day, we obviously have some things in the works with Philly Sports Trips for those that weren't successful as members, and we'll be offering something when details get shored up. But we were recommending people like go with the Amex pre-sale, get your tickets. The most important thing is that you get yourself there, and I think we've got about 50 odd members who've got their tickets. Great idea by one of the members to create a spreadsheet so we could track where everyone is and people could book near everybody. I think, like you said, block 251. Most of the cool kids and Rich are going to be there, and we'll see what we end up getting tickets to. But we'll be speaking to our sources and getting our tickets that way. But yeah, it's just amazing to see the community come together, help each other out. Some people couldn't get in, some people didn't have an Amex, and it did not matter because everyone banded together. And if you put your hand up and said, "Oh, I need some tickets," they were within a few minutes.
I was so
Someone was
impressed.
reaching out and giving them to you.
So impressed with the way everybody just sort of clubbed together. And I know I speak for myself, but I think I speak for a few people as well, that the relief once you have a confirmation that you've got a ticket, as much as we knew that the guys over at Philly Sports Trips would be able to sort us out if need be, the fact that I can now relax because I know I've definitely got a seat, and we'll just wait for the tailgate tickets to come out and we'll jump on that bus then and sort those out as well. But yeah, massive relief, because there would have been nothing worse than the Eagles coming to London and us not being able to get a ticket. That would have absolutely broke my spirit.
Yeah, I think the general sale is in July. For those that don't have Amexes that are still waiting to get in there, we will have confirmation of our packages that we'll be offering or working with Philly Sports Trips to offer. Vince and the crew will be bringing over a couple hundred at least, I would imagine, based on what they brought over for the Phillies 2 years ago. Of Eagles fans from Philly, the usual crew, Schumann E-Rock and Gale and the Fourth and John boys and everyone that you see on your TV screens, Philly Sports Guy, no doubt will be here. And if you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, the tailgate's going to have the one and only Darius Slay. I mean, what more could you ask for? So, and I know VIPs are going to be around the bazaars, current active players, coaches. You know, we've all seen the pint pulling Brent Selleck from pictures from 2018, and the coaches of the Phillies in Passyunk Avenue. And I'm sure there'll be so many instances of that happen over the week. That's why I booked myself 5 nights, because I want to be there everywhere, making sure I get as much exposure to all the excitement that's going on. Bunking with Gaz, Passyunk Avenue Gaz, for a couple of nights to save himself a few bob, but that's going to be an adventure in itself. I'm just so looking forward to it. But yeah, the Philly Sports Trip side of things, once we get confirmation of that, there will be sort of ticket and tailgate packages. So they'll be brokering their own section of tickets for their fans, plus a few of ours as well. And there'll be a VIP tailgate. Everything's still to be TBC at the moment, but we can say that there's going to be a tailgate. Hope location probably around Tottenham Hotspur, but again, we don't know just anything just yet. But for those that have been through Birds Fly Home will know just how elite the tailgates that they do over there. This time it's going to be no different, but with a nice Passyunk Avenue flavour to it. As they're going to be involved with doing it, it's going to be craziness, and I'm so excited to be involved with that. And those kind of packages will be available. So if you do have a ticket, we will be offering tailgate only packages, and I do strongly recommend you take advantage of that. Mainly because it's surprising on game day, we've all been to sports, and how much you spend food and drink. You don't think about it. You don't think about the 20 quid rounds that you're doing every hour. And then by the end of the day, you realize how much you've actually spent. So a tailgate is going to be in a fantastic way for all you can eat, drink. Plus you might get to see and meet Darius Slay. And I'm assuming Jennifer will be there as well by his side. So it's always good to meet those two Philly royalty now after their time in the city of brotherly love. So it's going to be so exciting. And I think I can't wait to get the details confirmed and sent out for all that. But I know Passyunk Avenue are planning their own lots of events as well, but there's going to be so much going on. I really wish I could give you some of the details of what's going on, but I don't want to ruin anything. And also, nothing's confirmed yet, but it's all pretty much going in the works, and it's going to be one hell of a week, I guarantee you.
Even before the confirmation arrives, we're already talking about what we're going to be doing. So we'll work our way around what gets announced. I've been speaking to all the Welsh guys. We're aiming for Passyunk on the Saturday night, regardless of if there's something going on or not. So for anybody else who's unsure and just wants some company, crack on. We will be there.
Yeah. Well, that's the other things. I'm waiting for things to be confirmed up from the big hitters, but a PSI British and Irish Eagles meetup is definitely on the cards for either the Saturday night or the Sunday night.
Or both.
Kind of reservedly planning for the Sunday post game, because I know that a lot of the main events will be done by then, and some people will have gone home, but there's a lot of people sticking around on the Sunday after the game with hotels so they can travel back on the Monday. So we'll definitely be doing our own event down at Waterloo, most likely, batting cages. And I think, if the Phillies and the Sixers, well, the Phillies postseason aligns, if the Sixers and the Flyers schedule release aligned, it could be one hell of a Philly sports night, catching all the games until the early hours of the morning. And I know the Travelodge has got a 24-hour bar, so we can carry on the pie all night long. I'm just not looking forward to the hangover, but I'm looking forward to the week. It's going to be absolutely insane. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the Eagles coming to London bit. I just, can tell that, like I said, how excited I am. I just can't wait until October now. It just seems so far away. Like the season's 14 weeks away. The tack on another 5 weeks to that before we all get together in October. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's last little bits and pieces. Let's just go to the off-season temperature check, because I feel like we've kind of dotted around the play calling, we've dotted around what it's going to mean for other players. But the AJ Brown trade and where we sit at the moment, I want to get your temperature check. And I can't remember if you've done it before, Mike, on one of the pods you were on before, but the temperature check is at the bottom of your notes. It's just where you feel. Are you ice cold on the Birds? Are you playing it cool? Are you lukewarm? Are you heating up because of the news? Are you getting excited? Or are you just on fire because you're just Birds 24/7 and it doesn't matter what's going on? You just fly, Eagles, fly before you wake up and get in the shower.
I am heating up at the moment. Like I said earlier, I'm an eternal optimist. So I always look at the positives. And for me at the moment, like I say, the new wide receiver room, I know it's sad that we've lost AJ, but I'm excited to see what the new guys can do, especially with the new scheme coming from Mannion. I think we've made some other moves which excite me as well. I think Jonathan Grenard has the potential to be absolutely fantastic, absolute game wrecker. I think following on from what he's been able to do in Minnesota, I'm really excited to see him play. Jalen Carter's coming into a contract year. You already know he's a big hitter, but if he wants the top contract, which he probably does, he's going to have to prove that he's worth it. So I'm expecting him to come out and perform as well. And in 14 weeks' time, the season starts. We will be at Passyunk Avenue, actually, for that doubleheader with the Phillies as well. So I'm excited. I am heating up.
What about you, Mick? Are you on fire yet?
On fire yet? No, I too. I remember doing this. I done this after the draft, Phil, and at the time I said heating up. Pretty sure I did. I was pretty drunk that night.
I think you did.
I think I said heating up, and I'm still heating up with help from a lovely bottle of Loch Lomond. Just quickly on this, because I opened this during the pod, Phil, and it's the peated Rioja cask. From the one of the Naz range, and honestly, like when you guys were talking about something, and I had a sip of my whiskey, it's the first time I've tried this one. And I didn't even hear anything for like 5 minutes.
just in the moment.
I was lost. I was lost in the flavour profile of this bad boy, because it's absolutely delicious stuff. Have you tried this one yet, Phil? Like the Rioja cask?
Oh, it was the first one I tried. Yeah, so for those that won't be aware, obviously, because we haven't really talked about it much outside of the group, I think there might have been a picture from Richard sent into the group. But yeah, just explain to us what the Naz range is, and the peated one, because that's my thing. I love the peated whiskey, so I was like, I've got to try the favorite one first. I've got to try that one first. I did open all three the other night just to have a taste of all three, but yeah, the peated one is great. But just give the listeners and people interested in whiskey a bit of a taste of what we're talking about.
Well, I can only give you this first one, Phil, because I'll tell you what happened. Okay, right. So on Friday night, I was out getting a few drinks with my good friend. We went to a concert. It was lovely. There was some heavy metal music played. It was enjoyed by all in attendance. There was many Jack Daniels drank. There was many pints of Tennent's drank. I went home. I don't remember getting home, but I do recall seeing in the morning a torn open box of Loch Lomond whiskey with the label removed, looked like it had been fucking chewed off, trying to get into the bottle, pished, and I had taken about a quarter of the bottle out. And it wasn't this one. It was the
The Oloroso.
Yeah, it was the American oak. It was American oak.
The original. Okay.
So I can't remember what it tasted like, but I'm sure it was lovely. So, but I do have it's my mission to try all three of the new NAS range because these are pretty new from Loch Lomond. I noticed them, and I said to Tony, I must try these because I'm a man that loves his whiskey, and you can never have too much. You just can't. So, so I opened this one tonight, and honestly, absolutely gorgeous. Like I know Father's Day's coming up as well, and I'm pretty sure the Loch Lomond are doing free engraving on the bottles at the moment. So, perfect gift. I could only say I could recommend this one at the moment because it's the only one I've tried sober. So yeah, you need to get your hands on these ones, guys. These are special.
Yeah. So the range is. Am I right in thinking it's it's not rebadged, but the original that's been put in 3 different cask types. So we've got the, like you said, the American oak one. We've got the sherry cask and the Rioja cask one. So the Rioja peated one, sherry Oloroso, and the triple American oak one. And yeah, that's that beautiful bottle, beautiful everything. But I think it's such it's it was nice to, like say, be able to try all 3 of them. But thoroughly recommend them. And obviously with your PSI member discount, getting 10% off that in time for Father's Day, definitely get that out there. They are a nice little batch of 3, and I don't think the price range is particularly bad either. So
no, very affordable. It's because it's the NAS range, so it's like no age statement. It's not been aged for 10 years, and the caskets or aged for 15.
That's what NAS means.
That's what, no age statement. So it just means it's not been barrel aged for any particular. Well, it has, it's usually like 5
I think
years
that's what surprised me, and I know we shouldn't. I don't want to go into too much, but obviously Tony's going to be going, no, keep going. But one thing that surprised me is that with no age statement whiskies, they're just obviously not as refined. They've not spent as long as the barrel. They've not matured as much. I found them surprisingly smooth for what they are. So I've been.
Well, this one is.
Yeah, well, Mick obviously went to another place. He's done the John Hamm meme where he just took a sip and just went back to that nightclub and had his eyes closed.
Oh, that's what it was like. But what I was getting at, Phil, is because it just leaned into the segment so well, because I was reading the finishing notes on the bottle, and it says there's a warming spice on the aftertaste, and that's where I got my heating up from, because the warming spice of the Loch Lomond
makes sense.
And like
ruined the flow.
Bring it back full circle, back to Eagles football. Why we're here, heating up from the whiskey, but heating up for the off season. We're about to enter the stage where we're at OTAs at the moment. We're about to go into training camp. There's going to be some exciting stuff coming out of the training camp. The battles, I'm excited for the battles. Who's going to be the starting safety, or who's going to lose his job, who's going to take his job, what are the rookies going to look like, what are the new guys like Gernard coming in, who are the captains going to be, Jordan Davis, what's Jalen Carter's contract year going to be like Mike said. There's so much intrigue, there's so much excitement. This is why we're fans. We fucking love this team. We want to know every single little detail about them, and they're now taking the field. How can you not be heating up if they're taking the field? God damn, man. It's like September cannot come quick enough.
Well, you'll be absolutely shocked and appalled to know that I'm still lukewarm.
Oh,
because I'm
that, man.
I know. I am excited, and I am optimistic, and I am looking forward to the season. But as we've touched on, there are just too many variables at this point in time that I just cannot leap. I cannot do that leap of faith into heating up just yet. And I may not get there until August, because I feel like until training camp and the joint practices and the Patriots, which is going to be feisty. I know certain beat writers are really looking forward to that one.
Biggest game of the season.
It's the biggest game of the season. Must win. It's the season-defining game of the preseason. But generally, I just think that, like, all joking aside, it's just I feel like I haven't got anything to get my teeth into. It's all your optimism and your hopefulness and the excitement of what might be, and until we get to, I think, training camp fully, I think, until I start seeing the team working and the schemes and hearing the reports about how the team's looking. And I know you can't really read too much into that, but I think at the moment it is just all up here in the ether going, oh, look at all these nice shiny things that might work out. And I just have to keep my feet grounded a little bit and be like, I am excited, but I'm just not ready to step into heating up, but I will be on fire, guarantee it, by September the 13th. So, not the exciting answer, but the realism in the room from the excitement. But before we do cut, Mike did touch on something that I did meant to, but I didn't forget to put in the notes, and that is, the watch parties that we've got going on. So outside of the exciting news that the Eagles are coming to London, you're correct. We are going to be there on opening day, September 13th. Not only for the Eagles opening game with the Commanders, but also we're planning in our what was our hugely successful outing last year, tying in the Phillies playing at the same time. And because September is the only crossover month, it's always exciting when the schedule gets released, trying to find that game. And it just so happens to be that the Eagles playing at 4:25 EST and the Phillies playing at 1:30 EST means that we can jump down to Passyunk Avenue around about 5 o'clock on Sunday 13th in London, Waterloo, and watch 6+ hours of Philly sports and then the rest maybe into late night football. Like I said, it was hugely successful. We had the Kansas City Chiefs and the Kansas City Royals at the Phillies last year. Amazing night from start to finish, batting cages, Phillies, then into Eagles football, and it was an amazing night. We were determined to do that again. So, September the 13th, we are planning to be there for an incredible Philly night again. So, as members, get yourselves your tickets. We've got the Nick Foles bar booked out, and we're going to be planning the same things: DJ sets, competitions, everything, you name it. It's going to be one hell of a night. But outside of that, then after the excitement of the London games, we are correctly going up to Glasgow, I believe, is beforehand. So I think that's in early November, and that's the Giants game. Mick, dates off the top of your head, if you have them. We're going to
November.
8th of November, and it is a 6 p.m. game, so it's an early kickoff. We will be having the game on. We'll be going back to Committee Room 9.
Yeah.
And which we did 2 years ago and was hugely successful. And so for the Scottish contingent out there, we will be coming up there to have an amazing time in Glasgow yet again. And then we will be coming back down again, like you said, like Mike said, we're going across the Severn River into Cardiff again for another night at Eleven's Bar, watching the Eagles play the Steelers, another mid-evening game for us over here. And I think Rich is also planning to do, but it's yet to be confirmed, we're going to do a Manchester one as well, because we've got quite a big Manchester contingent in our fan base, our membership base. And I know there's a good few. They've done a Phillies one up there, and I think it'd be keen to try and reach everyone, because like I said, not everyone, and Mick included, have managed to get down to Passyunk or will get down to Passyunk as easily as the people who live in the general area. So we decided to hit the road once again and try and come around the UK to bring everyone together. And those nights have been hugely successful. I've enjoyed it. I enjoyed everyone last year. I may or may not get to Glasgow, but I'm definitely going to be in Cardiff. So, because it was a wee 40-minute drive for me, so I will be there, rain or shine. If any of those events interest you, please make sure to sign up as a PSI member if you're not already. Get onto the website, get into the events and secure a place. It all helps us to gauge numbers and plan the best night possible if we know who's coming. So don't wait. Get your place secured. Anything I missed there with the events, guys? I think that was everything. So without further ado, I am going to wrap up this pod after an hour and 10. I thought I might be done before the hour mark, but there's just so much excitement around AJ Brown and London games that just can't help but talk. So thanks ever so much, guys, for joining me. I thought it was important to get on. Lots to talk about, but just, always good to get together and talk birds and see where we are. You've definitely done wonders for my positivity around the Eagles, although be it not enough to get me to the next level of excitement. Yeah. But, we're looking forward to the London games. We'll all be there together, and the season is just a small 14 weeks away, as we keep reminding you. But, gents, thanks ever so much for joining me. And anything to add before we go?
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. See you all when the season comes.